this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. Today in this shaky cam interior review, we're going to be looking at the 2014 BMW 228i. This is the, how do you say it, cheapest, I guess, the lowest cost BMW on the market. Fully loaded like this one is, it's around 45, just under that. I believe they have a starting price somewhere in the $32,000 or $33,000 range. You get a lot of car for that. BMW knows how to build a car that drives well, of course, the ultimate driving machine. But you get a fair amount of luxury in this car, but there are a few things missing that I would expect to see in an entry-level luxury car. On the other hand, this is probably the fastest four-cylinder car I've ever driven that wasn't some kind of super-tuned track-ready machine. So let's just get to it, because a lot of the stuff is different because it is a BMW rather than a more Americanized car. Window and mirrors are pretty much the same. Down over here, hidden over in there, you'll have the trunk release. Up here, the lighting, of course, which I've just left on auto. It does a really good job. I'll show you how it senses that in a minute. On the steering wheel, let's do that first. Here is the turn signals, pedal shifting, of course. This is the cruise control. It took about 2 minutes to get used to this. No big deal. The left-hand placement isn't totally uncommon, but it is a little bit uncommon. Usually it's on the right. But you have to, I had to get used to pushing this to set it instead of this, because if you set it with this, then and especially if you resume it with this instead of this, then it changes the speed setting. I had to get used to that, because in a lot of cars you can just push up to resume and it'll resume, and I had to undo that habit and start pushing this. Otherwise, cruise control works really well. Over here you have your telematics and so forth. So this runs your stereo over there, phone and volume. And then you have your other paddle shifter and lighting. Lighting's pretty straightforward. Or washers, I'm sorry. Pretty straightforward, up, down, all that. This is keyless start, and it's also auto start, stop start for fuel efficiency. You can turn that on and off here. You can toggle it. So if you get tired of feeling it, if you're doing a lot of stop and go and you get tired of just feeling the engine kick on a little bit, when you're in city traffic, you can toggle it off. Honestly, it wasn't that annoying, so I don't know why anybody would want to do that unless you're sport driving or something. Then I guess you could come up with an exception. And actually, in my understanding, I believe if you're in sport mode, it does not do that anymore anyway. Looking at the gauges, here's your speed, tach. You just have to get used to the fact that they're reversed from what we're probably normally used to. Down here is your eco driving, and this little screen can change. This screen also changes. Actually, I'm not sure that this screen changes. I don't remember that it does. So it's this screen. All right. So, and you can see I've put just shy of 400 miles on it, and it shows the outside temperature and so forth. And you can change a few things that's on here using the that button right there. And then, of course, there's your fuel. So pretty straightforward instrument cluster. It gives you everything you need to know very quickly. It's nicely lighted, and at night it has a glow rather than a bright light. So very nice. Well done there. Coming over here, this has the nav package. So you have the large screen. It's a big wide screen, and it splits right about there if you want it to, and you can change that very easily from the nav options menu. So you can show your map and then like what's playing on the radio, or you can have your turn-by-turn over on one side if you want. Turn-by-turn also appears right here by default, which is nice, because that is where I would rather be looking when I'm negotiating traffic. And then you have your door locks are in the center. This is a small coupe, so there's no door lock controls on either of the doors, but there is one right there. no big deal because this is the keyless one. You can unlock and lock the doors just by grabbing the handles if the key fob's in your pocket. So really doesn't come into play a whole lot. Stereo, of course. This is radio tuning rather than a knob, so you just kind of get used to these two buttons right here. Very, very nice stereo. The stereo in here is awesome. It's a small car, so you don't need a lot to make it great. You just have to tune it right. Down here is the climate controls, of course. It has dual climate, which, you know, it's a 2+2 coupe, so I guess that's useful. The spacing in here is kind of tight, so really whatever their temperature is or whatever this side's temperature is more or less what it's going to be over there. But you can change the temperature of what's blowing on you at least, which is good. I've mostly just left it on auto because it does a very good job on its own of controlling what it's doing, turning the AC on and off and all of that. When I was in sport to do some freeway on-ramps on the way, I had to drive down to Denver. I took the AC off, you know, because I want the extra engine power. But other than that, I haven't really fiddled with it except to try the settings and get used to how it works, and then let my wife play with her side to kind of fiddle around with what kind of output it has. Now down here you have a kind of a little cubby that I don't know what you would use it for. It's kind of small. It doesn't fit a phone. It doesn't fit a lot of things. We honestly just mostly used it for a trash bin to throw, you know, like straw wrappers and whatever into. Also, I don't know if the older folks in the crowd will remember this. Germans. I'll tell you, being in this car makes you want to smoke cigarettes and say words like bratwurst. So anyway, here's the ashtray. This comes out, so it becomes a cup holder. Ditto over here. This is actually where I've been setting my phone. I just set it like this because this is a nice rubber surface. Set it laying like that, and it stays in there just fine. It's great. Here's your mode selector for sport mode and stuff. And let's see, traction control. Here's your shifter. You have to get used to pushing the button. So let me get the brake. Push the button and then pull it. A lot of cars do that, but you're used to having a big physical button. It just takes a second to get used to that. And you can put it into manual and do your shifting from here. I've been using paddle shifting. You can shove it into manual, use a paddle shifting. You can shove it into manual and use this shifter. It doesn't matter. And you park by pushing that button. Nice little shifter. Feels good in your hand. It's kind of I don't know, insubstantial when you're pulling it back and forth because it just pops down and goes back up. Similar to, I don't know, like a Toyota Prius and or any of the Toyota hybrids. But it feels good in your hand, and it does its job. That's all that matters. Over here, this is how you control that big infotainment screen up there. It's right here. Nicely done, easy to understand, very quick. Pairing my phone took no time at all. Finding stations, setting presets, all that stuff, very, very quick. Nice little system here. Used the nav a couple of times when I was in Denver. Worked really well. It was easy to set up with this. Just as long as you're parked and you can look down and look up back and forth to get the settings done, good to go with this. You get used to changing stations and stuff very, very quickly, eyes free, where you can just reach down and use this and do what you're doing up there without having to look down at what you're doing here. Handbrake, of course. And here you have a small cubby, and for whatever reason, BMW is very BlackBerry centric, so they have this BlackBerry dock thing, which I believe is an option, and your plug's over here, so USB and whatnot. This comes out, so you can push this, pull this out, do whatever, but this is it for the glove box. It's not very deep because you have a drive shaft running back. It's rear wheel drive. Seating, awesome. This is nice leather. This has, you know, lots of adjustment. You can see that this bolster moves back, or this thigh holder. Yeah, whatever. I'm trying to talk too fast because I'm running into 10 minutes here. This moves very nice, this support, and your bolsters, your side bolsters are great in this car. Very good for a sports car. And then you'll see the mahogany throughout, and brushed aluminum and so forth. Very, very pretty car, nicely done, soft touch materials. You got kind of a felt going on up here. You have a nice little sunroof. The back seats are usable by kids. It is a 2+2, and that does mean something. So this is not a not necessarily a family car, but very fun to drive. Great driving car. The throatiest and most powerful 4-cylinder I have driven, with very few exceptions. To kind of throw a comparison, very different car, but similar similar output. The Subaru Wrx Sti, very different car from this because that is a rally car. It's really meant for that. It's a very, very stiff suspension. But on the other hand, it has a 4-cylinder and it is putting out excellent power, but it uses a lot of technology to do that. This is a relatively simple twin turbo 4-cylinder. I don't remember offhand the horsepower. When I produce this, I'll put that in underneath so you can read it. But it's very fast, very quick, and it just has a great sound. You would never know it's a 4-cylinder. It sounds like a 6-cylinder. It's just a throaty engine. Very good job. If BMW knows how to do anything, it is make a car that is really good at driving and very, very sporty. This is a highly comfortable car. I've enjoyed it very, very much. I would like to get into some of the larger cars, and I think I will soon. In fact, they're going to swap this car. They're coming to get this car today, and they're bringing me the i8. So watch for that. I'll be doing an interior review on that very soon. That is I can't wait for that car because that is one of the hottest cars out there right now. So anyway, that is it for AaronOnAutos.com. This has been Aaron in a 2014 BMW 228i. Talk to you again soon.